Parthiban Kanavu, English translation by Anand Kannan and narrated by Sujatha Anand. Book 2, Chapter 4. Mamallapuram. The seaside town of Mamallapuram wore a festive look that day. The houses were decorated with mango leaves, tender leaves of the coconut tree, flags with the lion symbol, and colorful banners. Streets were filled with wondrous art, columns. The columns depicted chariots, horses, elephants, trees, flowering plants, and formed a sumptuous visual treat. Men, women, and children were up early. Dressed in silk and fine jewels, they had assembled in street corners and in the front yards of houses. Music from drums and auspicious pipes filled the whole scene. Interspersed with the music, there were murmurs of people exchanging news bits like, "The emperor has left Kanchi. He has reached halfway," and "Princess Kundavi is coming along as well." As you might guess, the reason for all the excitement was that the Emperor Narasimhavarman was visiting Mamallapuram. There had also been an announcement to the effect that he was going to declare the resumption of the sculpture work that had been suspended 7 years ago. It was not surprising that the residents of Mamallapuram made a festival out of the visit by the emperor and his beloved daughter, Princess Kundavi. Those days, Narasimhavarman's fame had spread not just in India, but overseas as well. The lion flag fluttered in all its glory in the region between the rivers Kaveri and Krishna. The citizens of that country adored Narasimhavarman. The citizens took pride in his reputation for knowledge, bravery, generosity, civic administration, justice, and fostering art. Their pride increased manifold after he killed the arch-rival Pulikesi and burnt his capital down. People were certain that there had been no king like Narasimhavarman, and nor would there be an equal in the future. Of course, they had no way of knowing that kings named Rajaraja and Rajendra would emerge in Tanjavur 3 centuries later. While all Pallava subjects were devoted to Narasimhavarman, the residents of Mamallapuram had a special relationship with him. Was he not the one who gave the town the name? In his youth, Narasimhavarman had defeated well-known wrestlers in a competition. He was awarded the title Mamallan, the great wrestler at that time. The coastal town later inherited the name. Kundavi and Narasimhavarman were seated on the howdah on the royal elephant. Armed soldiers marched on either side of the elephant. Several banners were seen in the formation as well. Oxen carrying drums led the pack. Sound waves made by the drum beats spread in all directions as the entourage marched on. People who saw the emperor and his dear daughter together would have been dazzled, as if they watched the sun and the moon side by side. The magnetic charm on their faces was striking. The crowns, jewelry, and the royal clothing added to their brilliance. The Pallava emperor was well built and majestic looking. His build was gracious as well as powerful. His distinguished face bore marks of several wars that he had fought and won. Princess Kundavi was beauty personified. The painters and artists who tried to capture her likeness in art conceded that they could not do justice to her beauty. They confessed to getting disoriented by her large, expressive eyes. The consensus was that Lord Brahma had created her to keep their artistic egos in check. Kundavi asked, "Father, you promised to tell me why this town bears your name. Can you tell me now?" The emperor replied, "We need to dismount for me to answer that question." "That is easy. Should I jump from the elephant then?" "If you were a commoner, you would have been free to jump and even break your leg. Alas, You are a princess of an empire. Kundavi chuckled and said, So I am not even free to break my leg because I am a princess? If you jump off the elephant, word will get around that Princess Kundavi jumped off the elephant. No prince from the 56 kingdoms will be willing to marry you. I may have to trick some prince just as King Janaka did to get Sita married. Janaka had to trick someone? Why? When Sita was a little girl, she playfully picked up a special bow. On hearing this, no prince was ready to marry her. Her father sent sage Vishwamitra to fetch a gullible prince called Rama. He had packed a box with a bow that was broken in the middle. Rama picked up the bow and it broke into two. Janaka said, You broke the bow that was our family heirloom. Either fix the bow or marry my daughter. Rama did not know how to fix the bow, so he agreed to marry Sita. Kundavi had a laughing fit. Father, I have heard several narrations of Ramayana. Yours is a new interpretation. After she settled down to a calmer state, she added, But you do not have to worry about getting me married. I am not going to marry anyone. The emperor, surprised, had a question. This is news to me. Why are you against marriage? If I get married, I have to leave you. I don't want to leave you. Is that so? Tell me one more time. Golden words are not to be repeated. Everyone says you grasp everything after hearing just once. If that reputation is well earned, why are you asking me to repeat my words, Father? Lord Almighty, I am not sure which prince is going to have to get hitched to this loudmouth. Please protect him from this girl, said the emperor playfully, looking up at the skies. Father, enough of jesting. Stop the elephant. I will have to jump off if you don't. You will be stuck with me for life. Kundavi pretended to jump. No, dear, please don't, said the emperor. He asked the mahout to stop the elephant. Father and daughter dismounted. He asked for a horse and a palanquin. After they arrived, he summoned the leader of the entourage and said, You should go ahead. We will join you at the gates of the town. He rode off the horse off the royal highway. The palanquin followed him. The royal entourage went on their normal path. The emperor's courtiers were not surprised. They were quite accustomed to such changes of plans. End of chapter 4.